Okay. Unfortunately, I didn't bring my digital tablet, so I cannot write much on that one. That's a problem. Okay, but anyhow, yeah. Let's have a look at international trade. What is international trade is all about? Okay, international trade refers to exchange of goods and services between people of two countries of the world. So as you can see here, the minimum requirement of international trade is at least two countries. Yeah, one country trade with another country. Yeah, one country will be an exporter, one country will be an importer. As simple as that. Yeah, so we're talking about trade. That means it is an exchange. Exchange means that one country have their own resources, another country have their own resources. For example, okay, Malaysia has a vast of paddy field. Okay, so Malaysia exporting paddy, which is rice. Okay, to the Japan, for example. Let's say Japanese have very good resources in terms of technology. So therefore, Malaysia trade with Japan in terms of paddy versus technology. Yeah. So it okay. Regardless of goods and services, they can trade services as well. They can trade goods as well. Yeah, services means that the specialty or the expertise that country has. Yeah. Okay. International trade also happen with more than two countries. Yeah, sometimes it can be three countries, four countries, and so on. Yeah. So you're talking about the first one. Yeah, there is a difference between international trade and internal trade. Yeah, internal trade means that within the political boundaries of a country. That means inside country only. That means state by state. Yeah. Okay. For example, Johor trade with Selangor, Selangor trade with Perlis, and Perlis trade with Terengganu, and so on. And that is an internal trade, exchange of goods and services. Okay, what is the differences between international trade and domestic trade? Okay, it's obvious that international trade is more beyond than domestic trade. Yeah, international trade, which is more on multi countries. Domestic trade is more on local. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look at the first one. Natural resources. Okay, definitely. Yeah, natural resources international is far better resources compared to the domestic ones. Yeah. Okay. Some countries have own resources, some countries does not have. I give an example. Russia has a vast resources of uranium. Uranium, which is a mineral whereby they can produce nuclear. Other state or in Malaysia does not have that. So that is a problem. Natural resources. And then let's say African country. African countries have a lot of gold, for example. Yeah, okay, compared to the other countries which don't have. So as far as natural resources is concerned, yeah, international trade is far better, compared to the domestic trade. Okay, the second one is monetary units. Yeah, monetary units means that the currency that they are trading. Yeah, okay, different country have different currency, therefore, yeah, the value of resources are different as well. It can be very cheap and or it can be very expensive. Okay, the third one based on national policies. For domestic trade does not have problem with national policies because they use the same policy in a country. Yeah, because they are trade by states. Yeah, so they are using the same policy by country. However, yeah, international trade have a problem with national policies because of uh, different countries have different government policies. Yeah. Okay. I give an example. Islamic countries. Yeah. Islamic countries are not allowed to trade beers or cannot trade wines. Yeah, from the other European country because of the practice. Yeah, of the Muslim countries is not to consume beer or not to consume alcohol. So that is an example of the national policies. Okay. And then another policies is embargo. Yeah, whereby some countries, for example, some countries ban Israel product. Yeah. Okay, next documentation. Yeah, because of the mode of entry, they need to enter country. They need to have a procedures. Yeah, okay, international trade is quite strict, yeah, in terms of documentation compared to domestic trade. Okay, protectionism, that means a country's policy to protect the local ones. Yeah, because international trade, yeah, that means sometimes government are not allowed too many foreign countries trade with their own country. Yeah, so that's why they need to protect the locals as well, because if there is too much international trade, yeah, the domestic trade will not become active and will be restricted. Size of market and total transaction, definitely international trade has a bigger market because of the geography matters. It involves multi countries. Compared with domestic trade, yeah, size of market is quite small actually because of the involvement between states. Yeah, total transaction definitely slow as well compared with international trade, which are bigger. And the last one, immobility of factors of production. Domestic trade has more mobile compared to international trade. Okay, why? Because international trade, especially for the countries who have a quite a gap, when mileage, the distance, geographical distance is quite far away. So therefore, yeah, to transport, yeah, the goods and services into the certain country might taking days, or might taking weeks, or months even. Yeah, but for domestic, yeah, it can take like 1 or 2 or 3 days only sometimes. Yeah, okay, so the mobility, yeah, the goods and services, the movement of goods and services with in the domestic is far faster compared to international session trade. Okay, let's have a look at absolute advantage theory. This one you already learned during microeconomic days, but that one is more on advantage in terms of production, local production. But in terms of macroeconomic, absolute advantage means that ability of a country to produce more efficiently than another country. Okay, example, yeah, Malaysia has far better paddy producer compared to Japan, for example. Yeah, okay, and then let's say another example is technology, cars. Japanese have produced better cars compared to Singapore, for example. So that is an absolute advantage theory. Different country have their own absolute advantage here, referring subjected to any products and services. So assumption, what are the assumption in order to relate absolute advantage theory? The first one, there are only two countries in the world, let's say, because the two countries are trades against each other. Okay, and then since there are two countries, therefore only two goods are produced. Yeah, Malaysia for the first product, yeah, Japanese for the second product. Yeah, so that means two countries and two goods. And then free trade exists. That means there are no restriction. They can trade, yeah, any quantity that they want, anytime that they want. Yeah, and then no transportation costs are involved. Yeah, that means it's a mutual agreement between two countries that there is no charge on import duty, import excise, yeah, and transportation, and so on. Yeah, and the last one, identical production function between trading countries. Yeah, okay, that means identical production function. That means even though paddy's production and car production are different, but probably there are some identical in terms of their process. Yeah, let's say process as standard of procedures. Okay, let's say this example, yeah, Malaysia and China are producing cotton and rice. Yeah, I'm not sure whether China is more on rice or cotton, or Malaysia are more cotton or rice, either one. Yeah, but the assumption here is two countries producing two product. Yeah, Malaysia and China are producing cotton and rice. Before specialization means that we want to know if the country is expert on producing that. Okay, the first one, Malaysia has absolute advantage in producing rice. Yes, definitely, because Malaysia has a vast majority of paddy resources. Yeah. China has absolute advantage in producing cotton, yeah, because they have so many resources in cotton, yeah, kapas in Malay. Okay, so therefore, as you can see here, Malaysia has less experience, yeah, whereby they only produce 20, China produce 40, and then for rice, Malaysia is far better to produce 60 rice compared to 20 rice. Assume it is kilogram. So 20 plus 40 is 60, 60 plus 20 is 80. Okay, so this one, yeah, after specialization, yeah, okay, this is what happens. Yeah, let's say after specialization, Malaysia is far superior with China in terms of rice. Yeah, by 120. For China is 80. So the total is 80 and 120. Yeah, international trade take place. Yeah, that means okay. That means the Malaysia will trade with China in terms of cotton and rice. Okay, total world output has increased the specialization. Yeah, I mean, cotton is far better produced by China. Yeah, than rice is far better produced by Malaysia. Okay, assume there is an arrangement to trade 1 ton of cotton for 1 ton of rice. So as you can see here, yeah, 30, 20. This one is from the earlier one, yeah, before specialization. Okay, both countries are better off with more goods as a result of international trade. Okay. The quantity is far better, yeah, from 60 to 80 and then from 80 until 120. What happens if a country has an absolute advantage over both goods? That means we're talking about Malaysia and China have an equal opportunity to produce that. Solution by using comparative advantage. Okay. So again, definition for absolute advantage theory is the ability of a country to produce goods at the lower opportunity cost than another country. Because if they are more specialized, yeah, the cost is not become a big issue. Okay. Before specialization, Malaysia produce 60 cotton, China 20, which is 80, rice 10, which is 20. Okay, Malaysia has absolute advantage in producing rice, so therefore the cost is quite low. Malaysia has absolute advantage in producing cotton. Specialization will not take place. Need to calculate the opportunity cost. Okay, what is opportunity cost? Is define a desired good that has one to forego to obtain other goods. Okay, so this one is the calculation. 10 divided by 60 is 0.110. What is it? 10 divided by 60. Yeah. Okay. Which is equal to 0.17. And then for rice, yeah, 60 divided by 10. This one, comparative advantage. This, if you want to calculate cotton, right side divided by left side. Yeah, but if you want to calculate rice, yeah, right side divided by left side. 60 divided by 10, which is 6. Same goes to this one, cotton, yeah. 10 divided by 20, 0.5, and then 20 divided by 10 is equal to 2. Malaysia has lower opportunity cost in the production of cotton, yeah, because the lower value, you see, 0.17. And China has lower opportunity cost in the production of rice. That means 2 compared with 6, 0.17 compared with 0.5. Specialization will take place. Okay, production after specialization. So these are the calculation whereby, yeah, 10 divided by 0.17, which is 10 is from the right side. Yeah, 10 is transferred from there. 10 divided by 0.17 and then plus 60, the original one, it will become 120. That means once they transfer, it will become nil. And then this one will transfer to this one, which is originally 20. And then divided by 2, yeah, plus 10 is equal to 20. So therefore, yeah, total for cotton is 120 and rice is 20. International trade takes place. Okay, what is term of trade? Yeah, refers to the rate at which goods are exchanged. Alright, so term of trade, that means because of they want to see the ratio, yeah, between one product with another product. Okay, terms of trade, one rice is equal to 6 plus 2 divided by 2. This one, 6 plus 2, yeah. Okay, 6 plus 2 divided by 2, and then 0.17 plus 0.5 divided by 0.5. 6 plus 2 divided by 2, whereby for cotton. Malaysia agreed to trade 40 tons of cotton in exchange of 10 tons of rice. Okay, so that is like, okay, for cotton, that means 4 times 10 equal to 40. Yeah. Okay, we're talking about the merits and demerits. I mean, the advantage and the disadvantages of international trade. Okay, let's have a look at the advantages here. Okay, international trade increase world output. Yeah, that means because of more countries involved, more resources involved. Therefore, the production will become better. Yeah, internationally. Varieties of goods and services. Yeah, that means different country have different goods and services specialty. So they can have a lot of choices. Yeah, remember we have like 206 countries around the world. Yeah, so a lot of, I mean, thousands or even millions of types of goods and services available. Relationship between trading partners. Yeah, one country has a relationship with another. Yeah, Malaysia have a lot of international trade members, yeah, with other countries. Recently, if you read the news, that Malaysia has stopped diplomatic relationship with North Korea, okay, because of certain political matters. All right, and then higher income and economic growth, yeah, because one country is helping one another. Sharing of knowledge and technology, yeah, whereby one country can learn from another country on how to produce and how to deliver services. But for disadvantages here is depletion of country's reserve. If there are too many export, yeah, it will lead towards scarcity. Yeah, if you learn in microeconomics, scarcity means that lack of resources. Okay. The second one, economic and political dependence. Like I told you earlier, yeah, the issue between Malaysia and North Korea. Yeah, if the political turmoil is there, there will be no good for the two countries. And the last one, definitely transportation cost, because most of the import, yeah, whereby they use, sometimes they use cargo or sometimes they use shipping. Yeah, it will take a long time to deliver and it will be costly sometimes. Yeah. Okay. Before I proceed with this protectionism, any questions so far? Any question?
No, sir.
Okay, no, everything is okay. Okay, let's proceed a little bit. Okay, protectionism. What is protectionism is all about? Yeah. Okay, protectionism is a policy practiced by a nation on other nation in which certain barriers, yeah, barriers are imposed on trade for economic or non-economic reason. Okay, one of the issues of international trade is sometimes one country cannot enter to another country. Yeah, for example, Malaysia, Israel cannot enter Malaysia. Yeah. Okay. So therefore, yeah, how they want to ensure that the barriers will be loosened up. Yeah. Okay. How they want to ensure that international trade will be smoothened with the certain policies that they need to implement to protect, yeah, the country. Yeah. Okay, so here are some of the reasons why protectionism is required. The first one, to protect infant industry. Infant industry means that the main industry that the country has. Yeah, let's say Malaysia is more on agriculture. So therefore, yeah, the protectionism is to ensure that Malaysia's agriculture industry is what we call as strictly taken care of. Yeah. National security argument. We're talking about two countries having relationship with one another. Sometimes they are concerned that one country has taking advantage with one another. To protect domestic employment. If there are too many foreign employment means that they will local employee will not having a job sometimes. Anti-dumping argument, this one is quite subjective there, and then low foreign wage argument as well. Okay, they are the reason for protectionism. Okay, you need to know what are the tools of protectionism. What are the tools that to protect the country in terms of international trade. Oh, okay, but this one does not have the definition there. You should know about this one. Okay, let's have a look at the first one, which is tarif. Let me search for you what tarif is all about. Okay, as you can see, tarif here is a tax imposed by a government of a country or a supranatural union of import or export of goods. In Malay, we can say that cukai import. Okay, if the country wants to import from another country, that exporter will charge by tax. Okay, let's say Malaysia wants to import cars from Japan, and then Japanese will impose a tax as an import or extra fees that Malaysia need to pay. That is what tariff is all about. The tax imposed on import, or sometimes export also they have some tax as well. That is a tariff. Okay, quotas. Let's have a look at quotas. What is quotas definition? Okay, quota is a government imposed trade restriction that limits the number. You see, the key word here is limit the number or monetary or value of goods that a country can import or export during a particular period. For example, Malaysia are only allowed to import 100 televisions from Korea. Other than that, cannot. Let's say in 1 year, they are only allowed 100. Or let's say Indonesia is only allowed to export 1,000 kilogram rice into Thailand, for example. They cannot export more than that. So quota is like a restriction, is restriction on quantity. Okay, there is a limit of quantity. Why? If there is no quota, it cannot be controllable. The import and export will become unbalanced. Okay, they need to consider other countries as an importer as well. Remember, they are not only one importer, there are hundreds of importers as well. So quota is quite restricted of limit the number based on the unit. Okay, the third one, export subsidy. What is an export subsidy? Let's have a look at the definition. It's a government policy to encourage export of goods and discourage sale of goods on the domestic market through direct payment. In other words, if the country is able to export their product and services to another country, so therefore, government will give incentive or bonus to those companies who are able to export the product and services worldwide. Subsidy. And then sometimes governments is bearing the cost. We're talking about if they want to export, and then there are some what we call as tariff, tariff on export. So therefore, a government will pay on behalf of the company. Okay, next is exchange control. What is exchange control means? Government impose limitation on the purchase or sale of currencies. This one we're talking about currencies in and out. Yeah. Okay. The countries doesn't want currency out too many. Yeah, because of it will devalue the local currency. Okay, next, import license. Some countries need to apply the import license, which is allow certain countries to import document issued by a national government authorizing the importation of certain goods into its territory. For example, Malaysia have the license to import oil from Middle East, yeah, petroleum. Yeah, some countries don't have an import license. Yeah. Okay, Malaysia also have a license in importing gold from Africa sometimes. Yeah. Okay, so import license, yeah, that means license is given by exporter, yeah, for the certain countries to allow them to purchase the product or services from the exporter. Yeah. Okay, and then the last one, embargoes. Okay, this is quite subjective here. Embargo. What is embargo means? Embargo means an official ban or trade or other commercial activity with a particular country. That means a restricted ban in to another country. Yeah, they are not allowed a certain country to trade with a domestic country. For example, Malaysia have an embargo with Israel. It means Malaysia has banned Israel to trade with Malaysia. Or also, yeah, Israel are not allowed to have a trade with America. That means, yeah, America imposes embargo to Israel. Recently, yeah, Malaysia has diplomatic issues with North Korea. Therefore, Malaysia also issued embargo to North Korea, whereby North Korea are not allowed to trade with Malaysia. That is an embargo. Yeah. So I hope that my explanation will make you easier. Okay, balance of payment, I will only highlight the elements in the balance of payment, which is a statement of systematic record of all economic transaction. It's like an accounting. Yeah, but recently that you learn accounting is more on companies, but this one is more on countries. All economic transaction between one country and the rest of the world. Yeah, okay, during a given period of time. If Malaysia have what we call as 150 countries trade members, so that means balance of payment, yeah, is a summary of account that shows the transaction by Malaysia with 150 countries. Okay, so the structure of Malaysia balance of payment, they have current account, capital account, and official reserve account. Yeah? So you need to know the differences between those three. Yeah? You are not learning in the calculation, just learn on the theory part. Yeah. Okay. Current account. Yeah. The current account contains receipt and payments. Okay. So you see, yeah, the keyword here is receipt. Receipt, which is money in, and payments is money out. Yeah. Okay, on goods and services. That means, yeah, the current the receipt means that which is usually from export, and payment is more on imports. Yeah, usually, yeah, for the current account we're talking about on goods and services. Definitely is more on trade. The current account has four components: merchandise trade balance. Okay, merchandise trade balance. Okay, that means in terms of goods. Okay, plus means in, that means the revenue, and out is more on expenses, which is export. Yeah, so as you can see, the difference between them is a net plus positive. The second one, service balance. The first one is goods. Yeah, the second one is service. Okay, there are some services available there by Malaysia. For example, transportation, travel, other services, government transaction, and so on. So as you can see, why they are negative? Yeah, because of, yeah, more purchase than sale. Yeah, okay. Negative means purchase or import. Yeah, plus means export or sale. So if import is more than export, they will be negative. If export is more than import, it will be positive. Yeah. Okay. So they have a net positive and net negative. Yeah. Okay. The third one is net income. Okay. As you can see here, net income. Net income means that okay. All right. The income generated by country. Yeah. Okay, so this one 16023 minus 4572 is negative 24549. Okay, so balance of goods and services, the formula will be merchandise trade and service balance. Yeah. Okay, so service balance whereby okay plus service balance. Okay, so this one plus this one everything, so you get this. This one plus this one, you can get this one. Okay, it's like goods plus services. Will become balance of goods and services. The last one, current transfers. Okay, that means a transfer of currency. Current transfer. Okay, so balance on current account, which is equal to trade balance plus service balance plus net income plus current transfer. So as you can see here, these are the balance of current account. That means this one plus this one plus this one, this one plus this one plus this one. Okay, and then the difference between plus and minus, you can get net. So as you can see here, there is a positive net balance of payment. Okay. Again, sorry. A current account is more focusing on receipt and payment for products and service, goods and services. What is capital account? A capital account records the payment flows and purchase of foreign asset. This one, foreign asset. Okay. The current account is more on domestic ones. Yeah. Okay. By Malaysian or Malaysian asset by foreigners. Yeah. The keyword here is foreigners. Two types of current account. The first one, capital account. So capital account consists of capital transfer, non-produce and non-financial asset. So far, this one has none. Yeah, this is an example only. The second one, financial account. Yeah, financial account, we're talking about the investment and also financing. Okay, in this one, they have a direct investment. Abroad means that Malaysia have an investment into foreign countries, several countries. And this one, Malaysia is more on foreign countries investing in Malaysia. Portfolio investment, that means Malaysia government has a certain account at a foreign country, and then they have other investment either in official sector and private sector. Okay, and then the last one, official reserve account, consists of government gold, because each country have their own gold, foreign gold and foreign currency reserve. Okay, and government reserve with IMF and SDR. Okay, for your information, IMF means that International Monetary Fund. Yeah, bank antarabangsa. Yeah. SDR, let me check what is SDR means. Special drawing rights. Okay. A supplementary foreign exchange reserve asset defined and maintained by IMF. Yeah, again, it's similar with the reserve country. Okay, here as you can see, they have errors and omissions, overall balance, reserve asset, and net change in international reserve of Bank Negara. Okay, but usually official reserve account is handled by Bank Negara Malaysia itself. Okay. Alright, errors and omission, a balancing item that enables credit and debit to be equal. Because sometimes in accounting, they have some errors in calculating, so they will make adjustment. Okay, so there are important formulas, balance of payment. Okay, merchandise trade balance is export minus import. Yeah, because export is more on in, import is more than out. Service balance, that means service export minus service import. Balance in current account, which is merchandise trade balance plus service balance plus net income plus current transfer. Balance of capital account, which is capital account minus financial account. Overall balance, balance in current account plus balance in capital account plus errors and omissions. Reserve asset is equal to negative overall balance. And basic balance, balance in current account plus long-term capital account. Okay, this is one of the issue of balance of payment. Yeah, why sometimes the current account and capital account is not equal. Yeah, and sometimes this equilibrium occurs when there is a deficit or surplus. Yeah, okay. As you can see in the net, yeah, there is a deficit means that negative balance. Surplus means that positive balance. So why is that occur? Yeah, is a disequilibrium. By right, their target is to make sure the name of the term is balance of payment. By right, there should be no deficit or no surplus. Yeah, that means money in is equal with money out. However, it doesn't happen. So how to correct this equilibrium? How to make sure that the trade is balanced? The first one, discourage import. Yeah, if possible, yeah, a country it will be best for the country is not to import too much. If they perform import too much, that means the money outflow will become so many. Yeah. The second one is because inflation. Different country have different inflation rate or interest rate. So if there is a highest interest rate, yeah, higher interest rate will lead towards country is paying more money. Okay, try to reduce inflation. The third one, using the government reserve. That means because of referring back to the government reserve. Yeah, I mean the reserve account. It is for the emergency if anything happens for the current account and capital account of the country. Devaluation means that if the price is too high, try to lower that. That means try to reduce the price. And export promotion means that to as an opposite of discourage import. Because remember, one of the protectionism is by using export subsidy. So if the export is encourage export means that if the country allows company to export more products, that will become a huge revenue for the country. Okay, let's have a look at the exchange rate, whereby the price of one currency in terms of another currency. Okay, let's have a look at the currency exchange. Okay, Malaysia and US dollar. Currency converter. This is the best. From US to Malaysia. Okay, convert. Okay, you see, one US dollar is equal to 4 ringgit, 14 cent ringgit Malaysia. Okay, let's say euro to Malaysia. As you can see, 1 euro is equal to Malaysia ringgit. How about British pound? 1 pound is equal to 5.7. That means the price of one country against another country. Okay, you see one country. That means the value of ringgit. Sorry, one value of currency. Okay. Why currency sometimes can be going up and going down? Because previously they use system. That means before they use a standard one. The first one is gold standard. The value of all currency is fixed directly to the gold and have fixed relationship to each other. That means the currency is valued based on the gold available in the certain country. Emas, And then Bretton Woods system, countries have to peg their currencies against US dollar instead of gold. That means they have a standard rate of trading US dollar. Okay, and then flexible exchange rate system. That is a current practice nowadays. Okay, whereby the currency can be going up and going down. It depends on the demand and supply of the currency. Yeah, if you refer back to the chapter 6, yeah, that I already mentioned on money supply. Yeah, M1, M2, and M3. Okay, this one. Okay, so done with this international trade. Okay, any question?